I said some stuff about. I wonder if the theme music worked.
No one got to hear the theme music. I feel like we ought to introduce you now, and then you walk onto your theme music. Are you ready for this?
Let's try it. Okay, yeah.
Let's try it.
Take it, Troy.
We're going to tag team this. When we get to his name, we're going to say it together, right? Right.
Sam Irvin.
All right. Y'all, my name's Troy Crossley. This is Evan Scott. We have a very special guest for you tonight here at the Urban Music Studio. None other than the one, the only, Sam Irving.
Oh man, okay, so too many cables to connect in one night, you guys.
A lot of cables.
Thank you, Troy Crossley, Evan Scott, for being on.
Yeah.
I am Sam Irvin, in Urban Music Studio in Asheville, North Carolina. I said a bunch of stuff about what I do with my business, but I'm just going to gloss over that.
Lost to the wind.
This is episode number 33 of this live stream. And you'd think that I would be able to connect everything by now, but it's still a work in progress.
Show must go on.
Yeah.
Yes,
What I've heard.
that's exactly right.
so I hear. Yeah.
So thanks for joining me here. We're gonna jam in a bit with a bit of a trio: drums, bass, and guitar. I guess we'll switch off.
First time having a trio on the show, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
First time having two guests. Yeah, juggling 3 balls here.
Yep.
So we'll have twice as much stuff to talk about, or at least 150% more stuff to talk about. Yeah. You guys play around town, right?
Yep. Do you? Yeah.
Music as a secondary thing. It's not your full-time jobs.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. And you guys have played, you guys are both in Pronounced Heroes? Is that right? Or is that your thing?
True. We've been going through. I feel like Pronounced Heroes as like the moniker for the band is going through like its midlife crisis and is questioning everything about itself. And so like, and so we're in the process of kind of like rebranding and kind of turning it into something else because it's become something very different than when it started as bands. A little different. I guess very is strong, but so it goes, and so life goes. Things will continue to change, and we change with them. So
So no project name.
not as of yet.
Oh, it's too soon to reveal?
No, I mean not really. I
want to debut something on the.
It's not that different. It's not that different, which is the best part about it.
Hero pronunciation or something.
That'd be good. Spelled Heroes. No.
Yeah, gyros. No, it's called the Renounced Heroes, right?
Renounced Heroes.
And it's a little bit different of a lineup, but Troy and I have been in the group since the start. The rhythm section's been holding it down. We've played with a ton of different musicians.
Heroes.
Hey,
Cool.
Pardon me. Yes.
There we go.
It sounds good. I got paranoid there.
No, it was good to check.
All right.
Yeah.
Renounced Heroes.
Core group, Troy and I, since day one, and we've had people come and go. To be honest, I've loved that part of it. I almost feel like he and I are like the house band that have brought other creative people in, and we get to like learn their styles and play with them and kind of grow with them.
That's true.
Sometimes it ends well, and we send people we love to Charlotte. Sometimes it doesn't end well, and we just say au revoir and, part peacefully. Yeah. But I guess that's part of being in a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Ups and downs.
And our good friend Kate Bryant, who you of course know.
Yes. Friend of the live stream.
Of course, friend of the live stream.
That's right.
She's been on 2?
Just one.
Just
Okay.
one, I
I bet I
think,
can get her back on.
Oh,
That's the point.
She was also one of the she was also one of the founding members of the band in the OG lineup.
I see. And you guys did a lot of duet stuff together, right?
She and I did quite a bit of shows like that. Just all kind of cover stuff, working to some of the originals here and there. But she and I write very different styles of music. She's much more heavy leaning into like the country sort of stuff, whereas I'm like a little bit more like folk, sort of like indie rock with occasional kind of like funk sort of influence, at least, if not just directly playing funk. But
You got a little twang in there, though.
Oh,
You let it out every now and then.
Every now and again.
I mean, I was about to say both of you guys have a foot in the country scene, but
Yeah, you want to talk about twang, man. This guy is still the best singer in the band, like, and refuses to sing. Yeah, like.
We can talk about that if you want. Philosophically, I always felt like if I was playing drums and singing, one of them suffered.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make like the professional decision to step away from singing while I'm drumming, until we start the new band, country band with me as the lead singer. I don't know when that's happening, but
Yeah.
that
And I'll be sure to play lap steel on that. Yeah.
yeah, that is a philosophical. Like, how far do you specialize? We all have to make that sort of decision.
Yeah. Or don't, and then you end up like me, and you're okay at a lot of things.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Like, I could just keep practicing my main thing, but like, why not start a whole other
It's too
instrument?
much fun just to not to try to do everything.
Yeah, I'll learn video stuff instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a fucking live stream. Like, come on. No.
I'm jealous of the people that know exactly like who they are and what they want to be.
That seems nice.
That I want to be a country guitar player that has this kind of style and this kind of range, and I'm just gonna master that. Because I'm in the same camp as you of being like, let's be a hip hop drummer this week, and then scrap that, and then now let's try to be a rock and roll drummer. Oh, let's try jazz for a week, and scrap that.
Yeah.
And you get kind of good at a lot of stuff, but you don't have mastery over like one specific expression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the broadness, the broad range has its benefits too. Higher
Sure.
perspective.
Yeah.
The best, I had Dan Keller on recently. He's an amazing jazz player. And it's just like, it's just too good. It's just too good. It's difficult for me to digest what he's doing. It's like, it just melts my mind.
I feel like
it was challenging.
if there is any benefit to like kind of going broad like that and trying to spread yourself out over a lot of different things, if we're getting philosophical this early, I feel like one benefit to that is that you kind of get a better sense of like what you want when it comes to like composition. Like you get a better understanding of like what an instrument can do, or at least what you want to hear from that instrument when you're like kind of versed a little bit in all these different kind of things. That's been my experience anyway. I don't know how well it translates sometimes I've noticed, but like drums is the instrument I picked up last, but since I've started playing drums, I have a much better idea of what I want to hear from the drums when I'm writing a song. I think that's one benefit that can come with being that broad in your studies.
Yeah, I still try to play drums like guitar, like a melodic instrument.
Right.
But it's not a melodic instrument. You don't have to do something new every 2 seconds. You just lay
I'm the
it down.
complete opposite. I play the guitar like a drum set. It's just like
Yeah. I love it so much. Yeah.
drum set with strings.
I haven't heard you play guitar or sing. Maybe we can get some of that going on later.
Sure.
And
I know 3 chords.
my birthday is coming up later. Yes. It's 8 months.
Is this a birthday present for you? What are you talking about? Your
You can
birthday?
sing me happy birthday.
Oh,
Hopefully
you'll have to
in
teach it to me real quick.
I've heard you play drums though at the Dead Billionaires show at the 27
Nice.
Club.
Oh yeah.
The
You're
sound
there.
was terrible.
The sound was awful.
It was so
If
bad.
anyone from the 27 Club is watching, all the love in the world, but
Yes.
get shit together.
It
bet
has
the
to be
energy
better
was
by
good,
now.
though.
There's no way it's not better at this point.
We closed out our most recent tour again playing at the 27 Club. So that was the second time that Dead Billionaires played there. It was a bit better. We did get a little bit more response from the sound person, whose name I don't remember, and I feel terrible about that.
Is it still-
because running sound is a thankless job, and I should remember. But
Is it still Ben Gunnels? The long curly hair?
Are we about to call him out on your live stream? What's
He, It's,
He is a avid watcher of this live stream, so
I'm sure that he's
we're
a
getting a lot
huge
of
fan.
stuff right now.
I'm not calling him out on doing a bad job, but the room is like, is it like an
It's a hard room.
roof or something?
It's an old, like, from what my understanding is, it's like an old auto shop, and that's why
yeah.
it's got that kind of layout with the bar like way on the opposite side of the building and all that, and then the big like kind of, I don't know, how do you call that? You know, that shop room. I guess that music goes on in. It's a hard room to do sound in for sure.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job. I don't envy any person that has to do that, but yeah, you know, it's no one's fault.
But the Dead Billionaires drumming is impressive
Billionaires.
because it's just, or like at least what I saw was that punk beat the whole time.
There's a lot of it. Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah,
I actually
it's a
went
lot of
home after I saw you and the band that opened for you guys play that beat all night. It's like maybe I
yeah.
could do that. And I can for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think it was Safety Coffin that night that opened, or I think they might have opened. I can't remember if they opened or closed out the show, but they were great, tremendous duo that does a fantastic job of just filling, you know, a room with sound, which is tricky to do as a duo. Yeah, tons of respect for them. Big shout out to them. But yeah,
Have you seen Troy on a stringed instrument or just on the drums?
I don't know. I've seen like you know, I don't know if I said it when I was muted or not, but part of this endeavor is to get to know people a little better. And
Yeah.
you guys are acquaintances, you know. Troy, I've ran into you
yeah,
so
on
many
a couple of
times.
occasions. Yeah,
And we have just stood on either side of Kate because we both knew her.
yeah.
And never really chatted that much.
She was like the conduit friend that we're both trying to. Yeah,
We did it. We connected.
yeah.
And we know each other from a lot longer back, right?
Neighbors. And then we met at that show that I played drums for Kate at Fleetwood's.
Oh yeah.
That was a straight country set.
Yeah.
That was fun to play.
We're working that ride.
Was working the ride?
Tasteful. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right.
All right, cool.
And the rest of the kid, I guess. Don't downplay everything else you were doing.
Yeah. The ride was a
I'll
highlight.
take the ride compliment. I'll take it. I was
Take
playing
for a
someone
ride.
else's drum set, so maybe he had a beautiful ride, if I remember correctly. Cool.
Seemed nuanced to me.
Beautiful ride.
He's got some bangers,
Yeah, she's
fun-
very good songs.
dynamic songs to play.
Yeah.
A handful.
Are you guys part of or going to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
So I am
Set.
Frankfurter in that production,
Okay.
as well as playing drums for half of the show when Frankfurter's not, you know, front and center. I play drums. But yeah, we got 5 dates of that coming up between September and October. Super pumped for that.
That's quite a show.
It's incredible. It's so much fun. It's a ton of fun. But yeah, then right at the beginning of October, he and I, with Renounced Heroes, are going to be playing what we're hoping will be a pretty big event. It's certainly a big kind of ambitious
Production.
event. Yeah, it is a production that we've poured a lot of time into called Carnival Macabre. October 7th, Grey Eagle. Tickets on sale now. We make great memes. And that is what we've been sinking a lot of our energy into as a band, but certainly excited to kind of get back into more kind of original music once that is over and just explore things a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what sort of acts are in the show?
Oh,
Trapeze?
No trapeze.
that would be really cool.
Got a handful of burlesque.
A lot of, yeah.
Comedian.
The comedian dropped out, unfortunately. I wish that there was going to be more comedy.
Magician.
What if he shows up?
Magician. Yeah. It would be.
I was kidding.
It would be
Maybe.
pretty great if Hillary Begley did show up and perform her act, because that would be, because she's very funny. But unfortunately, she had a conflict. Yeah.
Which boy? Rapper?
Witch Boy, a rapper. Urban Combat Wrestling. That's going to be
Okay.
hugely fun.
Nice.
Yeah, they put on a very, very good show.
And you guys are playing background music for like the wrestling, like
So I like to think of us as like we're like a demonic talk show band. Like the whole point, the whole concept behind the show is that it's a variety show from hell, and that every year all these damned souls in hell get a chance to compete to win a chance to spend a year on Earth. And basically, I play the role as the MC for this variety show, and Renounced Heroes is the band that, we're like a talk show band. So I've written, or we have written with the help of our guitar player, Dylan Young, phenomenal guitar player, and Paul Lentini writing a good deal of the script, and all of us chipping in ideas. We've got 2 full-length, like, original songs that we're kind of debuting for the show that we just wrote for the show.
And they're about hell.
It's about it's kind of like
flying, like Metalocalypse style.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
diving into the character that I'm playing.
It's flirting with rock opera. Like we have a whole script.
Yeah.
People are talking over top of it and stuff like that. It's
Cool, like a meatloaf.
It's not.
yes.
It is like not so secretly my dream to write a rock opera one day. Like, totally into the idea.
You dipped your toe into the pool. At this point.
I have.
That's
Between
totally-
the Rocky
those
Horror and
skills,
this,
man.
like, yeah.
And then we will be introducing all the different acts with mostly horror music, scary stuff, and Halloween themed.
Like Monster Mash.
No Monster Mash.
Too happy. The problem with Monster Mash, too happy. It's not spooky enough.
It's not spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like tritones. Nothing
Yeah.
but tritones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously the most, demonic interval.
That's what they said.
That's what they say.
All right, and what date is that again? At the Grey Eagle.
October 7th at the Grey Eagle.
All right.
Tickets are $15. It's going to be a good night. It'll be a ton of fun. I guarantee that it'll be fun.
So, okay, good. I don't want to go to a not
Considering it, I was thinking it wouldn't be fun at all.
variety. I like.
No.
That's what we were just talking about. A broad range. I don't know. I like a specialized show.
Yeah.
One song over and over.
It does it really well, though.
Both are valuable. Both are good. I'll go watch a master comedian like do his thing for 2
Absolutely.
hours straight,
Yeah.
or I'll watch a variety act and see 100 different people do cool shit.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked. If we're like a talk show band, I'm essentially like the demon Questlove. That's kind of what I'm thinking
Yes.
right now. So, self-titled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So, how long have you guys been playing music in Asheville?
5, 6.
I've been here for just over 6 years, and I met you
In a restaurant.
like the first month I was here.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I think so. So we've been playing music together for like almost 6 years. I mean, off and on, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we've been playing together off and on for about 6 years.
yeah.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. Leave me to it.
Yeah.
It took me too long of a
We
time.
recorded an album of Troy's original music under the Pronounced Heroes
Yeah.
title, and
Yeah.
we did a bunch of we dabbled with Ryan, who used to be the keyboard player, and we recorded some stuff for Kate. But the one thing that we really put out is essentially, I think it's all you.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a bunch of my original tunes that I've kind of had sitting around, some newer and some that I've been sitting on for, too long and just wanted to get out there in some capacity or other.
The concept of the Pronounced Heroes was always supposed to be this house band that was welcoming to other musicians, and we wanted to be hyper collaborative.
Yeah.
That's why, still to this day, Troy will sing some of my songs. When you saw Kate play when I was on drums, she sang 2 of my songs from the old Pronounced Hero days, just for fun. So it was always just sort of this collaborative passing around, learning each other's music. I'm still 1000% open to if someone wants to come in and workshop some stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's my dream to be a session drummer. And that's where I have the most fun and find the most satisfaction with music is learning, collaborating, being creative with the writing process. And that's what the Pronounced Heroes was always kind of supposed to be.
Nice. What do you find so fulfilling about that? Do you think that you're connecting with people, with other artists in a deeper way than you might just from a conversation? Or do you like sort of material being presented to you that you wouldn't have thought of, like a new perspective, piquing your interest? Or do you find just the process of helping somebody else realize their vision to be fulfilling?
All of the above.
Yeah.
For me, I would say the challenge, or just like, it's almost like some people are into like puzzles. That's how they want to spend their time. For me, it would be like a similar kind of satisfaction of like, let's talk about this. Let's see what works. I'm going to play a part. How did that feel? Should I play more? Should I play less? Can we like transition? Can it be more dynamic? Like all of these things, like collaborating and working these things out until you have like this product that you're really proud of. That's the pinnacle of the reason why I pick up the drumsticks for me, is like the collaborative process.
Yeah.
It's fun to help. I mean, it's fun to see people be like stoked about a part for sure, too.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's just like that. I don't know. It's just my brain finds that satisfying.
Yeah, that sort of repetitive. I wonder if we've, as musicians, can. What is the word I'm looking for? Like, conditioned our brain, you know, to need that therapeutic repetition. Like, let's do that again. The writing process often is like, you make a tweak and then you listen to it. How does it make you feel?
Oh yeah.
Right. Then you tweak it again and you repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, and you refine, and then like, I guess it's perfect enough. Like we ran out of time.
I can relate it to something I think Stephen King said that was like, writing is rewriting is rewriting is rewriting. You know, where it's like,
Yeah.
like when Dylan and I wrote the opening song for Carnival, like, you know, we must have played that. I mean, we sat down and we just played that song like for 2 or 3 hours, you know, and just over and over and over again, and make little changes here and there. You know, I'm a big fan of that process of just like little tiny tweaks and seeing what kind of like emotional response it gets from you when you hear it, the whole picture with that one little, you know, brush stroke that is different, you know.
And you look around at the faces, and when someone's face goes,
Yeah.
all right, fire.
Yeah.
Keep that part. Fire.
Caliente.
Yes, yes, exactly.
It is interesting. You said as musicians, we condition ourselves to be like into that repetition process. I would argue that my brain was like kind of built this way, and I found drums as like an expression to like soothe that sort of like need for repetition, and like polishing and improvement. I think my brain just like really enjoys that, and it just found the drums as like an expression of that.
Oh, that's interesting. A nature versus nurture thing. I wonder that all the time too. If I was just born this way, or you know, or like because I don't know. Like it's sort of a weird thing to sit by yourself and practice your instrument, like to do this thing over and over again. I mean, I guess like having a garden, you know, and growing vegetables, you do the same thing over and over again or whatever.
For sure.
Any other menial like human task is sort of like that. But yeah, to find the drums. How old were you when you started going for it?
I got into it late in life. I was like a junior in high school, bagging groceries, saved up enough money to buy a drum set and get myself some lessons. But I dove in hard, and I was the guy with the metronome in 4, 5, 6 hours a day sometimes, just like, and I jumped real quick from not good to pretty good. I just, whatever, like a duck in water.
That is unique, I think, for a teenager to jump in so hard and become so dedicated.
I didn't realize you had lessons. That's cool.
Yeah. John Farmer. He's out there.
Watching right now.
Shout out.
Shout out.
We'll tag
John Farmer.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I think it's crucially important to me. That was, did you guys have teachers?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
Do you have a degree in?
I do. I've been jazz and philosophy double. Not a tech.
No. Make it do.
Yeah, I'm working
Self-taught.
on it. Self-taught.
So you had
Autodidact.
a teacher. Did you have teachers?
I did not.
Cool.
How did you get into it?
My dad had a guitar sitting in the study, and by the time I was born, I'm one of 5 children, and by the time I'm second youngest. By the time I was born, he didn't really play it a whole lot, but he was a songwriter. You know, before that, I got to hear you know, 1 or 2 of those. I kind of just wanted to do whatever the hell my dad was doing, honestly. So
Was he good? Can he play?
Yeah, he can play. I mean, I don't know if he can, probably not anymore, but you know, at the time where I was interested, you know, he played enough to inspire me to pick it up, and then when I turned 16, he gave me the guitar, and you know, it was all.
Did he ever teach you anything? No. Not a teacher.
No.
You didn't have like a teacher.
I was
You
just
had, like, a
really,
person.
I didn't have a teacher, but I had inspiration, you know.
Did you say 16 too?
I was 16 when I was gifted the guitar, but I started, you know, I was playing the thing since I was like 13, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool.
But I didn't feel like it was mine.
What sort of music did your dad play, and do you know, do anything similar now?
For sure. From what I can remember, I didn't get to hear an awful lot of what he did, but from what I did hear, it was very like kind of folky, you know, I guess what people would call like just singer-songwriter sort of stuff, which is just another way of saying to do with the guitar. But yeah, it kind of had a folky, you know, like flirting with country kind of vibe to it, which I feel like is sort of the kind of stuff that I tend to write now. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious how you're writing songs. Oh, you play guitar too?
Yeah.
These days? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know a speck of theory, but I learned cowboy chords,
Yeah.
and I just kind of play until it feels okay, and then I spit it out.
He's really good at like the hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff. The badiddlies.
They're just paradiddles, but with your finger, right? It's a drum set.
Yeah. Looking at it like a drum set.
Left, right.
Badiddly. Yeah.
Doodly doodly.
I think that's how Bo Diddley got his name.
Bo diddly.
All the diddling.
Yeah.
Diddling.
No.
So, do you guys, I can't seem to write music, or at least, you know, I'm trying to invest some time. Well, no, I'm not. I fantasize about writing music, like chord, sing a line to that, you know, create a melody with my voice, play another chord, you know. Is that how you're often writing music, or do you, you know, either of you guys, you know what I mean? Like guitar, or like chords and with your voice?
How do you write your songs? I'm curious.
It usually always starts out with just like messing around. And then as soon as something kind of feels good, I'll record it. I'm a huge fan of like recording and listening back, playing on top of something. I don't have it right now on my phone, but for a long time I used to do like little loopers on my phone because I don't have any recording equipment or anything. And I would just record chords and I would play things over it until it sounded okay. And I would say like, oh, is that like a counter melody or is that like a singing part? And then I would be like, okay, that's like a really good singing part. I'll just steal that melody and like write some words to it. That's how it always starts. Fiddling around, whatever the word would be. Noodling. Write some words. It's always lyrics last. Even when I like listen to music, lyrics are the absolute last part that my brain registers. If the music like feels good and the chord progression's good, and then like how the words are being like expressed and like sung is very important. And then what the artist is actually saying is like totally third, fourth most important thing. Whenever I actually like look up the lyrics, I'm like, oh, those are good lyrics. Like this is a good song, top to bottom. But my favorite musicians, Justin Vernon, Tom York, can't understand half the stuff they say anyway.
Yeah.
But the way that they're saying it is very emotional and expressive, and to me that's more important than necessarily like the words. The words are totally secondary, and if you hear Octopus Eyes or any of these songs that I've written that are just like borderline nonsensical, where's the Minotaur?
Oh no, the lyrics are
It's a
fucking
little
great.
abstract.
It's
I like abstract.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like a linear story. You can take a line from this part of the song and put it down here and just swap it. The song will literally have the exact same meaning. There's a like pretty good chance you can just swap those lines.
I tend to like that kind of songwriting. Like one thing that really bugs me about listening to, you know, like a lot of pop songs, you know, especially, is that like the story is way too linear. Like they're telling a story from like start to finish, which I guess, you know, can be cool, but usually it seems too obvious.
And country too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That story.
Yeah.
But there's like a little, usually there's like a little punchline at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, country at least has a sense of humor a lot of the time.
A lot of the
Whereas
time.
like you would get, in pop, you get a lot of, just artists that, take themselves just really, really seriously, and there is no punchline, there's no humor in it or whatever.
And I would argue that it's like country that's writing these things isn't necessarily like striving to be progressive high art. They're not trying to push the envelope. They're trying to have let people have a good time, which is totally valid.
For sure.
It's not like the deepest pursuit of music, but it's fun and it's valid. And if people want to drink and dance to your music, I don't see any better use of music than that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's striving to be the highest version of what music can be.
It's not opera.
Yes.
Or
Is that the highest?
300 years.
It was a time.
Rock operas are the highest.
Word.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
They could be. Haven't heard a good one.
So what about you, Troy? What's your process? Are lyrics at the end of the line for you too?
Lyrics are definitely at the end. A melody is first. I can't tell you how many times I'll come up with a hook or just a verse melody or something like that. It happens very often in the car. If I'm messing around on an instrument and something sounds good, I'll for sure record it, just so I can have something to just kind of mumble over. But that's how most songs starts, is I'll mumble a melody, and lyrics absolutely come last. I'll arrange a whole freaking piece before I think about what the actual words are. As long as I have that little humming of what the melody should be, I'm usually good to go. But I struggle so hard with lyrics. And it's hard because when it comes to listening to music, lyrics are one of the first things I notice, because I don't know. I really believe in kind of a lot of the songs that really shake me are usually because of lyrics. Yeah, I don't know how much more I guess I can say about that, but
Why don't you quote us the entire lyrics from your favorite song?
the entire lyrics of my favorite
The
song.
whole.
You probably do it. Some Tom Waits or something.
I mean, I love some Tom Waits. Please don't do that. No.
What's your process when you're writing? I guess you don't. You said you don't sing.
I don't sing too much. A lot of my song creation has been learning how to improvise, with jazz, and to get all this crazy Moog stuff sort of going at the same time, and the deeper sort of the more parameters that I can set, of them doing the work themselves, I can sort of create this ambient stuff. The work that I'm passionate about, I'm also sort of ashamed to talk about, because I'm just working on the Eternal album that will I ever just get it out there, But
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
it's taken forever. It's
Let me
difficult to prioritize.
let me get a guest feature on that Eternal album. Come on.
Maybe it's gonna have to take a big team, I think, to get it all out there. But I have saved all those little tiny recordings from the beginning of when I was playing, from being a teenager, and haven't given up on them, despite all the advice out there that you should just move on and write the song in the present.
Yeah.
And so I'll probably call the album something like Consolidation or whatever. And I spent a year taking all those recordings, and I put them on different maybe piano roll programs like Fruity Loops or something.
Yeah.
I'd written some stuff, or sometimes I just recorded it. So I put it all on sheet music, and then took all of my poetry from all the scattered, sheets of music, and just consolidated all of that. Then the next year was putting all of the musical little pieces into, and it's sort of like little vignettes, but to put them into songs that make sense, and to organize the poetry into this sort of story, this philosophical cycle that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then the next year has been to try to put the poetry on top of the music. So I'm in that stage right now, and I'm on song 10 out of 15. So I'm making
There we
progress
go.
this year. Next year, I will be ready to
Two-thirds done.
record demos of everything.
Yeah.
And I did not take the melody. So most of the musical ideas I come up with had melodies, but I did not put the poetry onto those vocal melodies, but rather tried to sing different notes. So most of the parts have double melodies, like counter melodies going on the whole time. And
Sounds
it's a
ambitious.
mess.
This might be a masterpiece, though.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool, or it could. No, it's gonna be really cool.
At least it'll be done. There's definitely something therapeutic and powerful as an artist.
Oh,
where, like,
yeah.
when you put the thing out into the world and you say, like, that's it, I've done,
Yeah.
then your mind instantly can move on to, like, a new thing.
Yep.
And until you do that, you just play the same song on the guitar. At least for me. I just play the same song until it, like, gets out onto a thing and out into the world.
Yeah.
I just play the same thing every day. I'm like, does it still need this? Does it need this? And I feel like I'm noodling because we enjoy that process.
Yeah.
But it can get to be overbearing too and redundant if you're just like noodling on the same song.
Yeah,
for
reworking the same
how many
thing.
years in a row?
Yeah.
3, but with breaks because I've got a lot of priorities going on.
But that sounds like an ambitious thing.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you. I mean, like, I've been in the same thing for, I guess, at least like 2 years now. It was like 2020 when I think like things were starting to loosen up and we could actually like get together again. And I was like trying to workshop songs, and still not out.
Yeah.
Still hardly recorded, you know. But if there is one thing to be said about like revisiting those songs, is and one thing that I think would be awesome about, you know, getting them recorded, and one thing I think is going to be awesome for you when you get yours recorded, is that it kind of becomes like a musical scrapbook, to where like you can hear those songs, you know, when you are finally done with them and move on, you can remember like the state. I know it's true for me, at least, is like I can remember the state I was in when I wrote that song, or when like I actually finished the lyrics or something and got the message through that I was trying to get through. Because like, you know, I've been for at least like 2 years now trying to like compile a list of fresh songs since the album that we put out in 2019. And it's hard, and it's like I'm a totally different person now, like in 2 years, and listening to the song that I wrote like 2 years ago and being like, wow, like I can keep your fucking head up there, guy. Like, come on.
We recently just had an idea as a band to scrap our set and to force ourselves to come up with new material.
Yeah.
So we're going to play the show October 8th with what we have. And then I think the idea, if we're brave enough, is to scrap the set and to come up with an entirely new, whatever it is, 45 minutes of polished material.
And make it collaborative.
Make it collaborative.
Which is something that, you know, we didn't, I mean, a lot of the set has been like heavy on my songs up till now. And I really am so excited to like open it up to everybody. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. As long as you feel like satisfied with the set, you know, like that you've got the
That we've had
songs
this far.
as good as you want to get them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or maybe you never feel that. Do you ever feel that way? Like, oh, I've gotten this perfect. Or, you know what I mean? Approximate.
Yeah. I think the songs that we have right now, I'm like, we could play it right now. And I would feel totally fine about how it would probably come out.
For sure.
I don't think there would be many flubs. I think it would be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we're both like, I think we share a similar like, okay, let's move on. Let's like get to the next one.
Next one.
I do not envy rock and roll bands that are playing the same songs for 30, 40 years. I like the studio guys that get the new thing. I'm not jealous of the Stones still playing it.
Playing those, well, they've got a ton of hits, but
I mean, I'm jealous
some
of being
bands
a
just
Rolling
have
Stone.
the one hit, and then they have to play like 3 times.
Yeah.
Screaming for it when you got 5 more songs till it comes out.
Yeah. Oh God.
No thanks.
Yeah, that sounds kind of miserable.
I mean, it'd be cool to have a hit.
I mean, it'd be dope to have a hit, but like, you also don't want to be like Everclear or something, and like,
I played like 3. Yeah, that's a good band.
I guess they had 3,
Eve
but
6 had the 1.
Eve 6. There we go. That's a better example.
Yeah. But it's a banger.
Yeah.
That Eve 6 song.
It's a good song.
You know what?
So other than
over again.
Do you collaborate with anyone other than like wedding gigs with?
yeah, I was going to say, do you play with any projects?
I guess
or-
you do these weekly.
These
Is this enough
weekly-
for you collaboratively?
You know, I'm trying to get back out there. I've found myself in like a transitional place in my life where I have more time for creativity and I can prioritize that a little bit more. It's tricky to like run my business and want to go out late at night, you know. I played like the funk thing at One World West on Monday a couple of
Oh
weeks
yeah,
ago.
Jonathan Lloyd's thing.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, he's killer.
There's some killer players, yeah. I mean, that was a piece of it, being like, oh no, I'm not the specialized trumpet guy. This is like my
brought the
favorite
trumpet?
instrument.
Oh,
Yeah, this was on trumpet, so
nice.
that was fun. And stayed out till like midnight, and it was fun. But that environment isn't. I don't know if that's where I want to spend a lot of my time anymore, like out at bars late at night. So it's difficult for me to want to do a rock thing, because where else do rock bands play? I guess festivals during the day.
Yeah, but festivals, it's like you get the same vibe from people, but it's daylight out and it's even more creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I still get drunk people, but now it's 4 p.m.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if this is enough, because this is sort of a tease too. You know, I get to talk to somebody just enough to like we'll get really into the conversation, and then it's time for it to be over. It's almost time for the end of the convo. Then we'll start jamming, and we'll get a feel, and then I don't get to see you guys again.
Yeah.
So that is a bummer. Yeah, I'd like to collaborate more though.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
I do find like the wedding stuff to be really cool and fun,
Yeah.
and to just set that up. Some people, I think, get sort of tired of that grind, or like don't even bring it. I've heard multiple sort of musicians in that field be like, doesn't really matter what you're playing because nobody's paying attention, or you should even play more simple stuff and keep it like really in the background, you know.
Not you.
But yeah,
You
I'm
tapping?
I'm tapping, doing Freebird.
Sweet picks. Yeah.
I find that to be pretty fulfilling. I'm in all these beautiful places and stuff. And my practice routine by myself in the morning with my classical guitar, you know, feels really good to me. But I haven't had too much experience in like a weekly rock sort of practice.
Did you ever have like the quintessential like high school band experience? Like, were you in like a rock band like in your teens?
I was in a Lamb of God cover band.
Oh my god!
Whoa, that was not expected.
Yeah.
Beginning, had a ponytail and a soul patch and stuff.
Oh man!
Pretty cool. I could do the windmill thing with my hair
boy.
while I was playing some crazy stuff.
How long did that last?
Not too long, you know, like
Yeah.
a year. There was some drama with like a
What?
Metal
a
band.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course. But that was pretty fun. But you know, preparing for college, I got into the jazz stuff and pretty early into my high school career, and got snooty about it.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
All right. It's a fun question. Do y'all remember your first gig, like very first gig?
I do.
No.
I don't know if you'd call it a gig, but I remember the first time I played in front of other humans. My drum teacher invited me to come sit in with him in his band. And literally in the middle of like a Tom Petty song, he's like, and I come up there and he hands me the sticks mid-song and I have to slide in and do this. And I was so nervous. I just remember him sitting out there and going the entire time.
The whole time.
I was playing way too fast.
You never slowed.
Everybody.
I'm pretty proud of that handoff though. He slid in, he slid off the chair, and I slid in on beat.
Hey.
So that was pretty sick. But I'm sure I played horribly because he was telling me I was going too fast all the time. How about you?
I don't remember the first time I played. Like, I mean, I had recitals and stuff growing up, so I was a little.
Those don't count.
I know those
don't?
aren't shows.
I guess they.
the first one I was really little and super nervous. My dad did teach me a song, 16 Tons, and so I think I was like a 7-year-old playing 16 tons with the least amount of soul that you could possibly have. What works
That's what you really want, a 7-year-old singing that song.
Yeah. But I did go out and play like my first jazz gig with Dan Keller, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Who's amazing. We took guitar lessons from the same guitar teacher who said that Dan Keller was the only student who did what he told him to do, like to practice the stuff and do the work. Never heard that about me, but but Dan Keller did. He's really good, and so we went out. It was me and another bass player, or a bass player, who also took from that guitar teacher, and we had like 100 jazz tunes to learn in like 2 weeks, and it was the first time that I really had to like
Prepare.
yes,
Push.
that's the right word. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine was I was in a terrible grunge band called Crystal Devastation.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
name was deep. I can't go into why, but for reasons that I won't go into, the name had to stay when I joined the band. I didn't choose it. The first gig was like a big like cookout of tons of like friends and family in this kind of like new town that I had just moved to. So it was really just just a ton of strangers that I had no idea about. But my parents came and watched.
Nice.
And it was god awful grunge music, but it was catchy stuff. My good friend, still good friends to this day, Bajan Stokes, wrote very, very good songs. We were the greatest Nirvana ripoff band in Berryville, Virginia, and I remember during the show, I was just a horrible lead guitarist, but I decided that it would be really, really cool if I got down on my knees when I played the solo and like ripped it. And I think that's when my parents knew he might not be great at guitar, but he is a good showman. So
You were playing guitar back then?
I was playing lead guitar.
When did you pick up the bass?
Bass was first. I learned bass when I was like 12 or 13 years old. I think I was 13 when my parents bought me a bass. No. I love bass.
Do you like the thumping or the slap?
I like the thumb, but I'm not huge into slaps. I think that I think that they have their place. It's great to like accent something with like an unexpected little pop somewhere. But like like just the super heavy like I'm not into that so much. It just kind of sounds like a lot of noise to me. Yeah, I mean anything having to do with the rhythm and the low end, I'm all about. Lead is fun, melody is fun. Like I love singing, but
I like Troy on bass. He's got skills on the guitar, but when he plays guitar, I think he's a rhythm-driven guitarist. He plays drums, obviously rhythm. I feel like the bass kind of gets to marry those two parts. He's playing rhythm hard on the bass while still being melodic and writing parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you guys were killing it earlier. There's some jams, sound check.
and you guys will never know.
No.
You're gonna hear next, right?
Oh yeah, they will know. So it is time to take a little break. Thank you so much, Evan Scott, Troy Crossley, for joining me, Sam Irvin, on 8 Note, Urban Music Studios weekly Wednesday live stream here in Asheville, North Carolina. Let's jam. We're going to just take a few minutes to get set up and make sure those cables are plugged in and nobody's muted. Then we're gonna jam a little bit, and I'm gonna check the monitor as we go.
Make sure we got sound.
Cool.
Exactly.
Taking requests.
For sound, for there to be sound, or not?
Yeah. Let's have there be.
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Woo.
see you next week, but see somebody else.
But y'all will.
Oh, yes.
Wherever you
I
are. I
will
don't
be
even
back
know where the
next week.
camera is right now.
The,
I'm like
the
trying to, like,
huge
look
ring
at-
of light.
Oh,
the
that
camera.
is the camera.
Yeah. And there's also a camera right there. There's a camera over there.
There's a camera there. Tell the people what you've been doing.
Guys have been